Today is a Tuesday night, July 5th, 2005. So today's topic is concept and reality with the Abhidhamma perspectives. So last night, generally, we tried to understand the differences between concept and reality. Today we were trying to understand from point of view of Abhidhamma. So that means Abhidhamma perspective. So please remember, the concept and reality. Concept is a fundamental aspect to understand or to realize ultimate reality. So these two things are related to one another. In the Abhidhamma perspective, one can obtain or one can realize ultimate realities from understanding conventional truths. For example, the men, women, dogs, cats, these are concept or conventional truths. From this concept, you can understand Nama Rupa. Nama Rupa is related to the so-called man, and the five aggregates. Five aggregate is related to the so-called man or woman or dog or cats. So these are fundamental teachings. How do we understand the differences between concept and reality? According to Abhidhamma, according to point of view of Buddha's teaching, one can wisely investigate these things with the analytical tools of Abhidhamma. So that means everyone can analyze or everyone can investigate the differences between concept and reality using the analytical tools of Abhidhamma. So Abhidhamma is a begun tools for understanding this concept and reality. So first of all, we need to explain the ultimate truth or ultimate reality from point of Abhidhamma. There are four kinds of ultimate realities. Almost everyone knows these four kinds of ultimate reality. The first one is what? Citta, consciousness. Second one, Cittasika, mental factors. The third one, Rupa, matter or form. The last one is Nibbana. Okay, this is whoever attended Abhidhamma knows these four things are ultimate reality. So whoever had never ever learned Abhidhamma before, just you learn today. Okay, there are four kinds of ultimate realities. Okay, please repeat together. Number one, Citta, consciousness. Cittasika, mental factors. Rupa, matter. Nibbana, absolute peace or absolute bliss. Okay, these, according to Abhidhamma, these are called ultimate reality. So just now we say, to understand the ultimate realities, Abhidhamma is analytical tools. Abhidhamma is analytical tools for discovering or investigating these kinds of ultimate realities. So before we analyzing these four ultimate realities, first one, we need to understand each categories, their functions or their characteristic for your knowledge. According to Abhidhamma, there's four kinds of ultimate realities. The first one is a citta, consciousness. Whenever you hear the citta, then what do you think citta what is Citta or consciousness? What do you think? Citta is what? Okay, according to translation, Citta is a consciousness or mind. Okay, the mind or consciousness. You are not very sure what is the consciousness or what is mind and so on. So Abhidhamma try to understand its character from point of view of Abhidhamma perspective. So Citta or consciousness or the mind has its own character. Its characteristic is to know or cognize the objects. So without naming the Citta, okay, we can say something. There is a something which is able to know or able to cognize the objects. This is what? This is Citta. This is a consciousness. So there is a something. Something is referred to the Citta. Is able to know or able to cognize the objects. This function or this character is known as Citta or called Citta. But the real function is whether you can understand related to name or Citta or related to your experience. Actually, reality is supposed to relate to your experience, not relate to the name only. So that's why if you really understand the nature of Citta, that means you need to practice meditation so that you may discover, you may explore, you may find something. There is a something which is able to know or cognize the objects. This is Citta. So, of course, the commentators define Citta in the three ways. The first one is as an agent, that is to cognize objects. The second one is as an instrument, that is to know objects accompanying mental factors. The last one, Citta, is as activities. That is, Citta itself is nothing other than process of cognizing or process of knowing. So according to these three definitions, the last one is more relevant to this matter or this view, the activity. An activity, that means the process of cognizing or process of knowing objects. This is Citta. This is functions, or this is characteristic of Citta. So Citta, according to Abhidhamma, altogether categorized altogether 89 types. So 89 types is relating to in different way. Is relating to feeling, relating to sphere. It's many way to categorize. Okay, first one is the simple way to understand wholesome Citta, unwholesome Citta, unwholesome Citta, wholesome Citta. There's a vibhaga, the resulting Citta, and the kriya functions or functional Citta or functional consciousness. If you unwholesome Citta, that means akusala Citta. Wholesome Citta, it is kusala Citta. Resultant Citta, there's a vibhaga Citta, and the kriya Citta, the functional Citta. Why the Citta is getting put into the categories? Because of different functions they were act or they were perform according to Cittasika, how to relate the Cittasika. Another thing is a Citta for sensual sphere, Citta for we call Kama Citta, that is relating to sensual sphere or sensual plane, or Rupa Citta relating to Rupa or Jhana factors, and the Arupa Citta relating to Arupa Jhana, and the Lokuttara Citta relating to supramundane. So even though Citta has the naturally or according to characteristics, only one, it takes only one function, perform its one function. But according to Abhidhamma, according to categories, they can be divided into different level or different position. So you don't need to memorize all the things, but you need to understand Citta is something which is able to know or able to cognize the objects. This is a Citta. But if you want to follow, if you want to learn according to a textual way, of course you have to memorize the 12 kinds of unwholesome Citta, the 80 types of rootless Citta, and so on, so many categories, okay, either Kama Citta, Rupa Citta, Arupa Citta, and Lokottara Citta. I don't want you to memorize everything for this moment. Just Citta has own function, own characteristic. It is able to know or able to cognize objects. That is a Citta. So when the Buddha is the Citta is defined, since you understand the nature of Citta, since you realize the character of Citta, you may realize it. There is a function, it exists. That's why we call intrinsic nature. They have own nature, own function. So if you realize it, that function, that nature, there is no room for I. Because if you do not know this function, which is able to understand or able to know the objects, then you may presume, you may have wrong concept. There's an I which is knowing to the objects. Actually, the knowing the objects not because of I. Actually, there is function or Citta which is able to know the objects. So if you do not know the functions of Citta, you may presume there is I, or there is a soul, we call universal soul, or maybe individual soul, which is knowing the objects. The second categories, which are known as Cittasika, we call mental factors. According to Abhidhamma, these mental factors are categorized into 52 types. 52 types of categories consist of Cittasika. So before you learn the types or categories, I don't want you to memorize all kinds of 52 types, but I want you to know what is Cittasika. According to Abhidhamma, the Cittasikas assist Cittas by performing more specific tasks. That means Cittasika has own function, that is to assist Cittas to perform their own function to prominence or specific tasks by helping Cittasika. So that means the Citta is regarded as a primary aspect, while the Cittasika is like secondary object, secondary the aspects. So in the conclusion, we can understand Citta arises, Cittasika arises, Cittasikas, if you say plural, okay, Cittasikas arise depending on Citta, but Cittasika determine Citta what it is. Like Cittasika is like child or daughter or son. They are very much dependent on their parents, but the children or the son determine for father's function. There's something like this. So in the Abhidhamma, how to call precisely explain Citta and Cittasika arise together. The Citta Cittasika have the same base and the same objects. So very difficult to differentiate, very difficult to separate one another according to Abhidhamma, because they arrive together, cease together, they have same base in the same objects. So how we can separate these two things? How yogis understand these two things? Because since they arise together, they cease together. How we will differentiate? Of course, the Buddha's mind already, setting up for us, because the Buddha already taught us the Abhidhamma teachings, how to differentiate Citta and Cittasika. There's a metaphor, there's a water and color. Because sometimes the water is so clear, so transparent, can't see, very difficult to see itself. If you add the color into the water, so water will change. For example, if the powder, the yellow powder or blue powder or a yellow color, blue color, put into the water, so water color is a change. So muddy color, yellow color, blue color, and so on, so that you can see the water nature clearly. Without adding the color, itself is very difficult to see. For this reason, the Abhidhamma scholars used to say the Citta itself cannot be determined as a wholesome Citta, unwholesome Citta, because itself is like clear water, so very difficult to determine the color. Until Cittasika is associated, begun to associate to the Citta, then Citta can be determined. This is wholesome Citta, unwholesome Citta. The wholesome and the unwholesome are actually related to Cittasika. Itself is like Citta is a Citta. Its function is to know the objects. So Citta and Cittasika, they are related to one another. Citta itself, it cannot be said. No one can say this is wholesome Citta, unwholesome Citta, until Cittasika is associated to Citta, or consciousness. So for example, Citta itself has its function, it's to know the objects. Then if you add greedy Cittasika or attachment Cittasika into the Citta, so that means attachment Citta, or means a greedy Citta, greedy consciousness. If you add anger into the Cittasika and Citta, that means the anger associated to Citta, that means dosa Citta, or angry Citta, angry mind, or greedy mind, and so on. So they work together, they sit together. Then for example, Citta pay attention to observe the one object, Cittasika observe the another object, not that way. Whatever the Citta is observe the Cittasika all the time, is a follow. For this reason, they say Citta and Cittasika have the same objects and the same base. Okay, they work together. So what you should know if you never attend the Abhidhamma class, whenever we say the Citta, of course, for knowledge, how many Cittasika? How many Cittas? 89 types. Okay, how many Cittasika? 52 types. For example, Cittasika, they have each, Cittasika consists of 52 types and categories, but they have own function, each function. That's why the 52 function will exist in the Cittasika. For example, perception, sanya is a Cittasika. Feeling is a Cittasika. Vidaka, thinking is a Cittasika. Mindfulness is a sati Cittasika. Saddha is a Cittasika. Wisdom is a Cittasika. The metta is a Cittasika. That means adosa. So these kinds of functions have their own characteristic. For example, perception has own characteristic is to remember past. That's why we call remembering the memories are this called functions of perception. Okay, you remember the present, that's what we call sati, mindfulness. So whatever your physical body is acting or performing, then your mindfulness will remember that what is a physical body is acting. So this is we call mindfulness or remember the present, the Vitakka will think whatever it's able to think. Then, because that thinking mind is one of function. But if you know these functions according to their characters, then you may learn this. You may notice or you may realize it. Every Cetasikas taking or performing their own function. No such things either I or soul really performing. There is thinking or realizing. In the Western philosophy used to say, I think, therefore I am. Because there is something is able to think. That thinking is I. That's why I exist. Okay? I think, therefore I am. That means they presume there is something think. That thinking is I. According to Buddhist perspective, no one thinks but Cetasika. Therefore, no I exist. Who think? Who think? I think or something think. What do you think? Who think? If you think I think, then I will exist. Who think? One of mental factors will think. That is a Vitakka. Vitakka means thinking, repeating again and again. If you really know there's one of mental factors performing its function, then you realize it, you discover it, there's no room for I. For this reason, according to perspective, I say no one thinks but Cetasika, more precisely Vitakka. Therefore, no I exist. The Western view, they used to say, I think, therefore I am. Because I think again, therefore I exist. According to Buddhist perspective, no such I really exists because of their mental factors acting their own function. If you learn this Abhidhamma as a tool to discover ultimate reality, it's really wonderful. But now you are learning theories, but concept. But name, actually whatever Cetasika is, we can say, even though Abhidhamma, but more precisely there is a name for ultimate reality, but itself is not ultimate reality yet. So you yogis have to discover, have to explore by means of vipassana practice or by means of meditation. Eventually you can discover this characteristic, that's its reality. What? Using the Abhidhamma 2 or Abhidhamma explanation. Because of these kinds of experience, then you may realize it, there is a reality, ultimate truth, ultimate reality. So you can differentiate yourself. How can I differentiate between the knowing ultimate reality or knowing the concept for ultimate reality? Please remember, we already emphasized concept and reality or conventional truths, ultimate truths never exist together. If ultimate truth exists in your mind, there's no room for conventional truth. If your mind, a conventional truth exists in your mind, there's no room for ultimate reality. So that means there is two things. For example, through your experience, you may realize there is a reality, physical phenomena or mental phenomena, but not named for physical phenomena, named for ultimate reality, but you truly experience there is a mental phenomena, that is something which is able to know. There's not individual, not identity. There is something. It's acting its function. So this is a mind, or this is a mental phenomena. This mental phenomena is knowing what? The objects. The objects can be physical objects, can be mental objects. Either feeling or the object. Greedy is a bigger object. Knowing how to call mindfulness and the objects, and so on. So long as you know, so long as you really experience these two entities through your practice, then your mind began to realize, oh, these two entities truly exist in the five aggregates. So there's your wrong view. That means since you do not know you do not know the two entities clearly as a physical phenomena, as a mental phenomena, so you simply put that kinds of function into I, or soul or ego, soul or self. For this reason, these two things never exist together, so you can realize it. According to Abhidhamma, there's a third category we call rupa. Rupa is a matter. Okay, the rupa is a matter. This matter, but you need to understand the rupa matter or form, that is name for ultimate reality. It has its own function, really exists, and then in the real world or reality. For example, rupa literally means change. That is, the changing nature is a rupa. So whenever you want to know the rupa, that means something has their own function, own intrinsic nature. This nature is a changing entity, or changing aspect, changing reality. The cause of change are many. For example, like heat, cold, hunger, and thirst. For example, when you live in the very cold country or weather, so your body change. Sometimes your face become red, or the skin is a crack, and so on. So when you stay in the tropical country, this rupa or matter can change. When you get in the sun, sweating, whatever, or when you get cold, your body change. But when you get hungry, your body may change. Or when you are thirsty, your body shows something. Then that's why these causes can change your physical phenomena. So this changing nature is a rupa. Of course, the so-called your form or body. This is a name for just name. But real ultimate reality is beyond that, whatever you see the appearance. So that's why according to Abhidhamma, rupa consists of how many types? 28 types. How many types of rupa? 28 types. Okay? But you don't need to memorize this 28 types, but you need to understand it. Rupa means changing nature. Or there is a deformed or changed by certain causes or certain condition. According to Abhidhamma, of course, many people know the four elements or four dhatu. We call Patavi dhatu, Abo dhatu, Tejo dhatu, Vayo dhatu. This is very common, the four elements. Whatever we say, according to Abhidhamma, the elements, the name for the ultimate reality, that is Patavi dhatu, earth element. Vayo dhatu is a water element. Tejo dhatu, fire element. Abo dhatu, there is Abo dhatu is a water element. So this is a name for ultimate reality. Their own intrinsic nature is beyond that name. For example, when you practice your Vipassana meditation, yogi can realize this ultimate reality beyond the name. Name itself is like earth, for example, Patavi dhatu, earth element. A yogi can see not earth elements, earth elements contains such as reality, such as softness, hardness. Even though we say the earth element means the Patavi Dhatu, but real experience is softness, hardness. But softness, hardness also, even though we name it, actually softness, hardness is not named only, but actually reality exists. Just now we say that matter can change by conditions. So for example, another thing is ultimate reality, they have their own intrinsic nature, nothing can change. So what is the differences? The ultimate reality has their own intrinsic value, and then just now is a rupa, matter is a changing nature. That means changing means won't change their ultimate value, but actually changing by that certain condition. For example, like the nature of softness, hardness. If you put near the cold, the softness, hardness nature will be cold. If you put near the heat or fire, then softness, hardness can be hot. But the real intrinsic nature never change. Softness is a softness, hardness is a hardness. That's why they have own intrinsic nature. For this reason, the rupa is considered to ultimate reality. Citta, consciousness, Cetasika, mental factors, mental states. And the rupa is a matter we call conditions. You can ask the question, is it that rupa can change by conditions? How about citta, cetasika can change or conditions by conditions or not? Can it change too? But not their intrinsic, cannot change their intrinsic nature. But certain condition can change. For example, at the moment your mind is happy, okay, there is a condition that makes you happy. Then another moment you see someone, you are the most hateful person, your mind is happy mind, can change or not? How will it change? Happy mind is changed into unhappy mind. Is it? Can change by condition. That's why citta, cetasika, rupa, another conditions can change. Then if you do the why the commentators emphasize only rupa is a changing nature, citta, cetasika do not seem to be changed. Actually they change, but rupa for concept or conventional truth, we can see the form or shape. So the changing nature can see by others. Citta, cetasika can see or not. For example, at the moment your mind is very happy, then another moment you see someone because you don't like, then your mind will be happy feeling or happy nature change to unhappy feeling, unhappy nature. Can you see it or not? You can't see it, your mind, because of their not substance. You can see your phenomena, your physical phenomena. Smiling face, angry face are different or not? Can see it or not? But you just smile, and someone they come. So that your face can change. That's why the commentator emphasized rupa is a changing, can be changed by conditions. Indeed, citta, cetasika also can be changed, condition. According to four ultimate reality, citta, cetasika, rupa is conditions, are conditions. Nibbana is unconditioned. Nibbana cannot change. Okay, what is the Nibbana? Before we proceed, Nibbana. The rupa, the so-called the form, the body. To arise this matter or to arise this form, there are four modes of origin. There are four conditions can arise this matter or this form. The first one is a karma. Karma means here chirana or pollution. The citta, consciousness. The utu, temperature, and the ahara, nutriment. These four conditions can arise the rupa or matter or form. Is it possible? Because we have past karma. So this karma generates to get new existence, new form. So citta, attachment citta or reverse linking citta, all the purujana cannot detach all the existence. Your consciousness is still attached or clinging to existence. So that kind of citta proceeds future existence, so that you are becoming to exist into existence due to karma, due to citta consciousness, due to uttu temperature. For example, sometimes the temperature is not balanced, not enough warm, then that form cannot arise. For example, like lay eggs. Sometimes the hens or duck, they didn't properly cover the eggs. The eggs can be swine, cannot be hatched into the baby. So also, we human, to become existent, there is a need certain temperature. If you test a tube, baby, the baby in the testing in the tube, but you have to provide the suitable temperature, otherwise baby cannot be alive. Then, certain nutrients necessary. This is for human, particularly human existence. But you should not presume all the beings or existence will be equally due to this four conditions. No. Because the Brahma, they all the time is meditating. They are only very much dependent on their nutrition. Like humans need to intake certain foods. Brahma no need to intake. So long as they practice meditation, they gain the piti or joy. This joy becomes their nutriment. Like for beings who suffer in the hell, for them is their condition, their matter or their form can arise due to only karma condition, no other conditions. For example, being who suffer in the hell, if you chop off his head, they cannot die. Is it good? They suffer a lot. Even though they chop off the head, the hell beings cannot die. Even though you spear just through from the chest to back, the hell beings cannot die because of their conditions are due to karma, not due to nutrition, not due to other things. Citta. For humans, if someone they chop off your head, can you survive or not? Surely you will die. But hell beings cannot die. So that's why for human beings, four conditions or four origins can arise the so-called this body or this form. This form is also changeable in nature due to other conditions. The last one is a nibbana, absolute peace. So whenever we try to understand the nibbana, it's a very difficult subject to explain what is nibbana. Really amazing that all the Buddhists always make their wish to attain nibbana. I wonder whether they know whatever they wish nibbana is what. Most of Buddhists will know or not what is nibbana. Without knowing what for you are wishing for nibbana. Roughly we know, of course, nibbana is the end of suffering or the end of existence or end of defilements and so on. So we know that there's a no existence, that means where we will be happy. There's a defilement, because due to the defilement we suffer a lot. That's why there's a no defilements, we will get peace and happiness and absolute peace. Since there is an existence, we have to suffer a lot, such as aging, sickness, death. So since there is a no existence, we will not suffer any longer. That's why we know roughly nibbana is the end of suffering. Even though we will not know what's the nature is nibbana, but since we know the nibbana is the end of suffering, no one wants to suffer. That's why the Buddhists imagine or Buddhists expectation to free from suffering of samsara or suffering of dukkha. So this is Nibbana. But anyhow, in the literature, they say Nibbana is Vana Sinkhataya Nikhandata Nibbanandi Ojati. That means Nibbana means departure from craving. Departure from craving. So if your mind is really shallow, if your mind is really not absorbed in the Buddha's teaching, if you are not very clear in the Buddha's teaching, departure from craving is very difficult to understand. Because the Nibbana, as we know, for Buddhajana definitely cannot understand the true nature of Nibbana, even though we say absolute peace or absolute bliss. This is a name for ultimate reality, but not for your experience. So, whenever we try to understand Nibbana, because the Nibbana can be known by only enlightened beings. So long as you haven't attained path and future knowledge, then you cannot understand clearly what nature is for Nibbana. What is Nibbana nature? You cannot understand. So, because of this side, how to explain, you cannot understand, then commentator, including the Buddha or Arahant, explain this side. Because of Nibbana is the departure from craving. The other side is craving to existence. So craving to existence means you are the other side of Nibbana. Departure from craving to existence means you come into exist in Nibbana. So first of all, you need to understand, if you really wish to attain Nibbana, you need to understand the disadvantage of craving or advantage of craving. What is disadvantage of craving? Since you have a lot of craving, a lot of clinging to existence, even though you want to live peace and happiness, you have to face a lot of problems. Aging problems, sickness problems, social problems, business problems, family problems, a lot of problems. Because these problems come from craving. So long as you exist, you cling to existence, then existence itself generates so many problems. For this reason, one of Buddhist scholars said or make statement, existence equals sorrow. So long as you are living existence, don't wish, I don't want to get suffering. So long as you live in existence, I don't want to face any problem. Is it possible? Because existence itself equals sorrow. So long as you are living in the worldly society, you have to worry. But unless you are wise or you know how to reflecting on the Dhamma, then your understanding may reduce your worry and unhappiness. Otherwise, you have to suffer like other beings. That will be equal. So the existence equals sorrow. For this reason, those beings or those people who really understand the disadvantage of craving to existence, they want to detach or they want to abandon that craving or power of craving, or they want to escape from themselves from the influence of craving, power of craving. For this reason, the Buddha proclaimed, even the first statement of the Buddha statement, Anika Jati Samsara, and so on. The Buddha proclaimed that, since I haven't seen you, I have to suffer a lot endlessly. Today I see you for craving. You, because I have craving, that craving built the existence like carpenter or constructor that built many houses, many buildings because of you. You means craving. Since now I destroy the power of craving, you need no longer to build my body or my existence. I'm already destroying everything what you have power. So that means, since I can't see you, you means craving, I have to suffer a lot. Now I already see you, I already destroy your power. You don't need to build any longer my existence or my body or my khanda. So that's why the departure from craving is Nibbana. So if you really want to attain Nibbana, you try to explore what is craving, what is the disadvantage of craving, what is insignificance of craving. Then you will learn. According to Abhidhamma, according to preacher's Mubara, there are two routes for your future existence. They are ignorance and craving. Ignorance make you blind or create you in darkness, so that crave more and more, according to preacher's Mubara teaching. According to Four Noble Truths, the main cause is what? Craving, samudaya satya, truth of craving. So long as you crave into existence, you cannot escape from the suffering. So if you really want to escape from suffering, you need to destroy, or you need to overcome the power of craving. So those who really wish to attain Nibbana, you must realize disadvantage of craving, so that you are able to detach that kinds of power of craving. So this is Nibbana. So Nibbana is, they say, Nibbana is supramundane, and it is to be realized by the knowledge of fourth paths, or path and fruition knowledge. Those who already attain the path and fruition knowledge, they will see the real nature or real nature of ultimate reality, absolute peace. That means, so long as you cannot achieve path and fruition knowledge, you cannot see the true nature of Nibbana. But if you want to know the Nibbana, I put two books in your Buddhist library, so you can read it. Nibbana is too deep, too difficult to understand the subject, because we cannot explain only one sitting to realize Nibbana. Even you read the whole book, but I will grant you. Now you seem to know what is Nibbana. Then after reading my books, you will get lost. You don't know what is the Nibbana. Maybe this is a way to understand. Okay, what is the significance of the Abhidhamma teaching, doctrine? So you see, whenever the Buddha explained the Abhidhamma subject, first of all, the Buddha trying to avoid the individual terms or identity terms. No man, no woman, okay, no beautiful, okay, whatever they say, because trying to avoid the individuality, personality, because a related term for personality. So the Buddha tried to use the term for ultimate reality, name for ultimate reality. For example, Citta, Cittasika, Rupa, and Nibbana. The Citta, Cittasika, Rupa, another term means five aggregates. If you five aggregate, another term means man or woman. Is it? Man or woman means five aggregates. If you can see the five aggregate, you can see the man or woman. If you see the five aggregate, whenever you look at someone, you cannot see a man or woman. In daily life, what will you see? Man or woman or five aggregates? Man or woman, because you can't see the five aggregates. So if you see the Nama Rupa is name for man or woman. If you see the Nama Rupa, then you can see the man or woman. If you see the man or woman, you can see or Nama Rupa. So two conventional truths, ultimate truths, never exist together. Okay? So the Abhidhamma teaching try to help you as a tool to explore whether this reality truly exists or not. Because the Sotanda method is a meditation, is like a kind of method. For example, Sripurana meditation comes from Sotanda. But even the other 40 types of meditation come from the Sutta as well. But Abhidhamma explained in detail. And then when you practice Samatha meditation itself is a name for conventional truths. For example, like when you practice Metta, may I be, I means five aggregate, or the conventional truths. May my parents, may my teachers be free from dangers, mental suffering, physical suffering. It itself is like conventional truths or ultimate truths. Conventional truths. So when you practice Vipassana meditation, you see the four foundations of mindfulness. The first one is what? Contemplation on the body. No personality, okay, body. Contemplating on the feeling. Contemplating on the perception. Then contemplating on the consciousness or Dhamma objects. Okay, they're not perception, they call contemplating on the body, contemplating on feeling, contemplating on consciousness, and then contemplating on the mind objects. Mind object including rupa, the remaining jhana. So you can see that when we divide into five aggregates, the Buddha put into group which one is the most prominent. At that time, five are the most prominent. But the aggregates of matter, aggregates of feeling, aggregates of perception, aggregates of consciousness, or aggregates of mental formation, aggregates of perception. When you learn the Abhidhamma, then you can understand more clearly. For example, aggregates of mental formation. If you do not learn Abhidhamma, you cannot understand the meaning. What do you think? Aggregates of mental formation. What is? Mental formation means what? Just now we say, Cetasika contains how many types? 52 types. Okay, 52 types. One of aggregate we call Vedana Khanda. Aggregates of feeling take out one function, that is a feeling function, Vedana. The aggregates of perception take out the perception, Sanya, as a one group because of prominent. The remaining 50 put into one group, that's all aggregates of mental formation. So if you learn the Abhidhamma, you know exactly what the meaning is. If you never ever learn the Abhidhamma, aggregates of mental formation, you cannot understand. So there is a significance for learning Abhidhamma. Even though terminology or term or name for ultimate reality. Okay, say again, then come back again. Like aggregates of consciousness. Whenever the Buddha try to teach Abhidhamma, divide into Citta, Cetasika, Rupa, 5 groups. Okay, 5 groups. Out of 3, Citta, Cetasika, Rupa. Nibbana is out of list of aggregates. So whenever the Buddha teach you 4 foundations of mindfulness, then the Buddha divide into another way. Okay, one prominent things are matter. Okay, aggregate also show 5 aggregates of matter. But here aggregate, concept how to call contemplating on the body. Okay, that is a prominent. Secondly, Vedana Khana, aggregates of feeling. Feeling is a very prominent when the Buddha provide as an object to observe. Then aggregates of citta, consciousness are very prominent. According to 5 aggregate, also Vijnana Khana, aggregates of consciousness. According to 4 foundations of mindfulness, these citta also one group remaining. Then according to 4 foundations of mindfulness, the Buddha put the rest of ultimate realities, including some Cetasika and Nibbana, under the Dhamma objects. We call this one contemplating on the mind objects, including the remaining all the Citta, Cetasika, Rupa. Of course, Citta already take out, Cetasika only feeling is a take out. Then the remaining things are another Dhammanupassana, Dhamma objects. Nibbana is another Dhamma objects because of 4 noble truths, including. So that's why Abhidhamma is very analytical tool to realize ultimate reality. So since we use analytical tool, Abhidhamma is analytical tool for exploring or discovering the ultimate reality. There's a question. So whatever we learn, Citta, Cittasika, Rupa, Nibbana are ultimate reality or not. More precisely, I will say, this is the name for ultimate reality. If you really practice meditation, you will realize it, this reality, whether truly exists or not. If you do not practice meditation, you may guess this will probably exist. This probably may not exist, for example, I or soul. Okay? But if you practice meditation, you can see clearly the ultimate reality. So that's why the conventional truth, the second group last night we already mentioned, name for ultimate reality. Then the last one is experience of ultimate reality. We Buddhists are supposed to go to reach that level. That's why meditation is necessary. If you want to really become real Buddhist, but you just learn theory, that is you are theory Buddhist. Not real Buddhist here, is it? Theory Buddhist. Because the Buddha actually put so much effort for fulfilling their parami. He sacrificed so much, the life, many lifespan, many property, many things. Because he want to share his knowledge, or he want to possess certain ability which is able to help others. That means without attaining Sabbinyuta Jnana, he cannot help others. That's why he had to make effort to attain Sabbinyuta Jnana first for himself. Then to attain Sabbinyuta Jnana for himself, he need to fulfill 10 parami, 10 perfections. So 10 perfection not for only 1 day, not for 10 days, not for 1 month. Actually, 4 aeons and 100,000 like the cycle of lifespan. They said the shortest bodhisattva, the longest bodhisattva is 16 aeons of 100,000 existence. If you emphasize viriya, our Buddha is emphasized for wisdom. Second type is emphasized for saddha, faith. So if you really want to realize it, ultimate reality, that means conventional truth, ultimate truth, there's only one way. That one way is what? Meditation. That's why the sleep dharana is the only one way to attain or to realize differences between concept and reality. So Abhidhamma is a technical tool or analytical tool for exploring the nature of ultimate reality. So sometimes you may presume, I realize it, ultimate reality. I seem to understand ultimate reality. You can test nowadays. Because now it is medical field or computer field, there is a test. Whether this is, testing is it true or not. You can test yourself. How will you test? Your knowledge or your understanding are very much based on concept or very much based on reality. How you will test? For example, I know Nama Rupa. This is, you really know or not, you need to test yourself. How will you test? If you are knowing in both I, you are knowing physical phenomena, mental phenomena, that knowing is still involve I concept. That means I knowing means you are not really knowing. That's a conceptually you know it. But there's a no I involved. There's a physical phenomena, there's a mental phenomena. There is a something is a knowing. Who know? Consciousness will know the mind. But itself, consciousness may not know I mean myself is a consciousness. Its function is knowing the objects. So knowing, that's why consciousness has own characteristic. It is able to know the objects. Knowing in the knowing objects. These two entities truly exist, so that there is no room for I. That kinds of realization are truly realized ultimate reality. That's a basic ultimate reality, because of intuitive wisdom are so many. Since you realize the differences between concept, they call physical phenomena or mental phenomena, that kinds of intuitive wisdom can overcome or can remove wrong view. That is I all the time exists. If you see that eventually cause and effect, that kinds of realization can overcome, the things without cause arises. That's why other religions believe, their belief system is no cause, but cause is a creator. Seeing to past life you are not beings. Seeing to future you will not go, because of that cause suddenly created by cause, God or creator. Suppose you realize it, three universal characteristics. The so-called physical is a Nama-rupa or realization Nama-rupa. These entities are relating to rising, passing away nature. There's no exception. The rising, passing away nature all the time is interrupt you, torture you, overwhelm you. Then you feel that there is an unsatisfactoriness for existence or suffering. Then eventually you notice everything beyond one's control. That means no atta, no soul is controlling you. Actually everything beyond the control. So that there's no such things atta is really exists. This one just now I say, I think therefore I am. There's a way to Westerners all the time is emphasize. Just now we say is no one thinks, but Chittasika thinks, or Vitaka thinks. Therefore, I do not exist. So you are more and more clearer. So if you really clearer, what benefit, what is significance for your realization? So you will reduce ego, or your atta will not be no longer stronger, even though you cannot overcome completely. Then also you are understanding the Dhamma, your humane sense will be getting stronger, your spiritual realizations will be getting stronger, then your humane attitude will be better. Eventually your intellectual sense leading you to achieve path and fruition knowledge. That is a real understanding of ultimate reality. So we need to understand step by step. For this reason I say conventional truth is a fundamental aspect to realize ultimate reality. Without conventional truth, we cannot understand ultimate reality, because they say ultimate reality has no name. Without name, how we will interpret, how we will explain the ultimate reality? Name is still useful for understanding ultimate reality, but name itself are not ultimate reality. So that way to Abhidhamma perspective, Abhidhamma is a really wonderful tool or analytical tools for realization of Nibbana or realization of the ultimate realities. So knowing this, understanding this, may you differentiate between the concept and reality, or we call conventional truth, ultimate truths, so as to achieve path and fruition knowledge in this very life.